So now this gives Donald Trump culpable deniability. He could say, well, the head of the CIA and CENTCOM told me we had new intelligence. I didn't know they were lying to me. So that's what this is. Okay, so Grayzone just dropped this bombshell. Trump officials told Grayzone that the CIA, Ratcliffe, acts as a Mossad stenographer on Iran. The two active words in this name are rat and cliff, just in case you don't know. Okay. An official in the administration of President Donald Trump has told Grayzone that CIA Director John Ratcliffe and U.S. CENTCOM Commander General Michael Kurilla have become vehicles for Israel's Mossad and military as they seek to manipulate Donald Trump and the United States into attacking Iran. The Trump official referred to Ratcliffe as Mossad's stenographer. So the head of the CIA, and these are the people surrounding Trump right now that he's listening to. He says we have new intelligence. They don't have new intelligence. They've got lies from Israel's Mossad that they gave to Ratcliffe, and then Ratcliffe told Trump. That's the
you've
new,
heard before.
That's the new intelligence. To say it's not new intelligence, the same thing that Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying since 1995, that Iran is weeks away from a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
According to the official, Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA, and Kurilla, the head of CENTCOM, have pressured Trump to join Israel's war more directly by regurgitating overblown briefings they received from the Israeli military and Mossad director David Barnea, but without informing the president that the intelligence came from Israel. So they're giving Trump this propaganda lies, and they're pretending that it's coming from the United States instead of telling him the truth that it's coming from the Mossad. So Trump is being lied to by his advisors once again, and he's choosing the wrong advisors to listen to.
Remember when Dick Cheney would suggest a thing to the New York Times and then later come back and say, yeah, some people are saying this thing.
Yeah, yes.
It's just that trick. They got like 2 or 3 tricks they do over and over, and it works every time.
And so so now this gives Donald Trump culpable deniability. He could say, well, the head of the CIA and CENTCOM told me we had new intelligence. I didn't know they were lying to me. So that's what this is. During the Trump administration's meetings with Israel intelligence officials, including Barnea, that's the head of the Mossad, the official said the Israelis have demonstrated a single-minded focus on regime change, clamoring for authorization to assassinate Iran's leader Ayatollah al-Khamenei. The Israeli officials have emphasized that the moment to take out Khamenei is now. The issue of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity is of secondary concern in the Israelis present in their own presentations. That's not the main thing. So this is, again, the greater Israel project. This is what they wanted all along, which the official characterized as tactless, hyper-aggressive exercises in fear-mongering. So this is someone inside Trump's administration telling a reporter at the Grayzone, telling the Grayzone the truth about what's happening. This is called a leak. At one point, the Trump official recalled an Israeli intelligence briefer declared that Iran could transfer a nuclear weapon to Yemen's Houthi militia in less than a week. According to the official, Trump's lead negotiator with Iran, Steve Witkoff, has been pushing the president to preserve the diplomatic track. So he's not listening to Witkoff, Trump's listening to Ratcliffe, and he's listening to the other guy from CENTCOM. He's not listening to people like Witkoff. That's according to someone inside Trump's administration. Inside the Trump administration, the source told the Grayzone that top officials who have questioned the logic of attacking Iran, such as Director of Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and her deputy, former CIA officer and Director of National Counterterrorism Joe Kent, have been excluded from meetings by White House Chief of Staff Susie. So do you see how this works?
Yeah,
So Tulsi and Kent And the people who are against going to, they just get locked out. So Trump doesn't hear from them.
Mm-hmm. You know what happens then, Jimmy? They have credibility, so they can do this game for the next president. This stupid game where they pretend to be against it. They have plausible deniability now. They're all in on it, all of them.
So in April, Grayzone released exclusive audio of remarks by the AIPAC CEO, Elliot Brandt. And what was he doing? He was boasting that of AIPAC's success in recruiting members of Congress. He described CIA Director John Ratcliffe as a lifeline inside the administration. And here it is. You want to hear it? Here it is.
We may not lobby the executive, but as we were talking about,
so he says, we may not lobby the executive as we're talking about. I'm going to guess that he means Trump. We're not directly lobbying him, but guess what? But there was a discussion earlier about Congress being representatives of the people.
Congress being representatives of the people,
while the White House have to be responsible to Congress.
The White House has to be responsive to Congress. And so it's working with, at the time, our friends on the Democratic side of the aisle to apply pressure the way that they know how to an administration, as it will be with this administration.
So he said, we're working with the members of Congress on the Democratic side to pressure Biden, as we're going to be working with members of Congress to pressure Trump's administration.
Well, I was talking about the people who will get appointed.
What I'm talking about is the people who will get appointed into some of these jobs. Like the head of the CIA.
Look at the top level. You talk about
Look at the top level. You talk about Marco Rubio. Boom. That's it. He's a puppet of Mossad and AIPAC. Elise Stefanik, Michael Waltz. Those were three people have something in common. Yeah, they all work for AIPAC and Israel.
Michael Waltz. Those three people have something in common. They all serve in Congress. They all have relationships with key AIPAC leaders in their communities. So the lines of communication are good. Should there be something questionable or curious that we need access on the conversation to? You never know. One of the first candidates I ever met with as an AIPAC professional in my job was meeting candidates for Congress was a guy named John Ratcliffe.
So the first guy he ever groomed was John Ratcliffe. So this AIPAC guy is bragging that the first guy he ever groomed in Congress was John Ratcliffe. John Ratcliffe is now the head of the CIA.
Great.
He was challenging a long-time incumbent member of Congress in Dallas. This guy looks like he could win the race. And we go talk to him. He had a good understanding of the issues. And a couple of weeks ago, he took the oath as the CIA.
And a couple of weeks ago, he just took the oath as the CIA director. For crying out loud, he says. That's the head of AIPAC saying that.
For crying out loud. This is the guy that we had a chance to speak.
This is a guy that we had a chance to speak to. So there are a lot, I wouldn't call them lifelines, but there are lifelines inside the Trump administration. So there it is. There's a little bit more to this. Besides Ratcliffe, AIPAC CEO Elliot Brandt also named Marco Rubio, Mike Waltz, two former Republican congressmen cultivated by AIPAC in advance of their appointment to key national security positions inside the Trump administration. They all have relationships with key AIPAC leaders from their communities, said the AIPAC CEO. So the lines of communication are good. Should there be something questionable or curious, and we need access on the conversation. The Trump official, this is coming from someone inside Trump's administration. The Trump official told Grayzone that the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, has ensured that the president remains surrounded by Ratcliffe, General Michael Kurilla in his briefings, and she's locked out Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent, people who are against starting a war in Iran. She's locked them out. Susie Wiles, Trump's Chief of Staff, is making sure he's only surrounded by puppets of Mossad, as the head of AIPAC just told you. Ratcliffe is said to take dictation from the Mossad and read the documents they've prepared to the president without any sense of critical detachment or disclose that the assessments came from the Mossad instead of U.S. intelligence. So they're lying to Trump. And,
So
and Susie Wiles is making sure this all happens. And so now Trump can, at the end of this, after this war goes belly up, just like Iraq, he can say, oh, no, I didn't know that I was being lied to.
Yeah, he's not a Russian accent. He's an
Israeli asset.
Jesus Christ.
Then there's General Kurilla, who appears singularly focused in meetings with Trump on making the case for the United States to attack Iran. In 2024, the pro-Netanyahu Israeli outlet Israel Hayom described Kurilla as a vital asset to Israel. So these are the people who are surrounding Trump right now. The UK's Telegraph referred to Kurilla this June as Israel's favorite general. Former Pentagon officials have even speculated that Israel's decision to launch an unprovoked surprise attack on Iran this June 13th was partially influenced by Kurilla's looming retirement in July, as Tel Aviv did not want to go to war without him as the head of CENTCOM. For his part, Trump's views are said to be shaped by constant exposure to Fox News, which has transformed in the past 2 weeks into a 24/7 commercial for war on Iran.
All these channels are for the president at the time. MSNBC was Biden's channel. Remember, he loves the Morning Joe show. So when all the old people that watch these still, those channels are for the president to like propagandize the president of the United States. And then if you like him, you're supposed to read, his propaganda. But they're for individual presidents, all the programming.
Fox News' coverage has become so transparently influenced by Israel's propaganda machine that even Steve Bannon, the former White House chief of staff and intellectual architect of the America First movement, called for a Foreign Agents Registration Act investigation of Fox News.
But not too hard. Remember, he was on here, he goes, hey, Israel's in a fight for its life right now, Jimmy. Remember that? You think Bannon's not part of it? Because I think he is.
So, Kurilla, General Kurilla, what's the difference between a Kurilla and a gorilla? A gorilla throws his shit at you. Kurilla throws your own shit at someone else and then blames you for it.
They false flag shit. Is that what he said?
Our government's got more foreign agents than a Fellini film casting session. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yep.
So now you know what's. So just I wanted to do a quick live stream. I want to let you know what's actually happening, why this is happening, and who's in control and who's got the power inside the Trump White House right now. And it certainly isn't America First people. It's all Israel First people.
Yeah.
And AIPAC is glad to get their people inside the administration. They got them. They got Kurilla. They got Ratcliffe. They got Waltz. But Trump got rid of Waltz. It's obvious what's going on.
It's a scam. The whole thing's a scam. By the way, Bannon, remember Jimmy? You interviewed him.
Yeah.
You asked him where that Epstein documentary with 14 hours of him talking to Epstein. Where the hell is it? Do you remember what his answer was?
Mm-mm.
Something about a deal and not getting the money for it that he should get for it. Something along those lines. Now, this is Mr. Patriot America First. And Kash Patel has already failed us. What I'm told, and I don't think it's true because it's too lame, is that he's gay and is whatever. I hope they threaten his family and that's not that lame. I hope not. Why isn't Bannon the Patriot, who's against this, why isn't he releasing that Epstein documentary? Since obviously they've gotten to our government and they're not releasing the file, he's got 14 hours of talking about transhumanism with Epstein. Where is it, Steve? Because he's part of it. And that's why he keeps saying Persia instead of Iran. Because he's one of those moron. He's not a moron, he's smart, but they want that Shah's son to take over Iran after the regime change. They're trying to put the Shah's son back in charge.
Yeah, I know.
This nonsense.
I know.
Yeah, that's what he's part of.
I can't speak to anything about Steve Bannon. He seems like he would be advising against this. That's my take. But Kurt has a different take. He's not going to
talk too hard, or he's not going to drop any information he knows to make sure it doesn't happen. Because I bet that Epstein doc he has would probably be real handy right now while this is going on to dispel some myths about who our friends are.
Well,
but he ain't going to release it, is he?
I'll tell you, this is certainly going to upend Trump's domestic agenda. This is not good. And if you think that Iran is not going to hit back, they are. And again, we'll look for a false flag inside the United States blamed on Iran that is being done by either our own government, CIA, because they've got no problem doing that stuff. They've had plans for it. Wasn't it Operation Northwoods? Was that the one where that got...
All of the wars were a fake thing. All of the wars, except 9/11. That happened how they said. That's the one.
That's the
But all the other one, historically, were false flags. And that's not a conspiracy. That's history. Everyone knows it. Get ready. Iran doesn't want to attack us. You have to understand about Iran, the crazy Ayatollah. They are all smarter than the cows who live in America. So they would never do something that's stupid on purpose, because much like when Osama bin Laden attacked America instead of Israel, it doesn't make any sense. So they're going to run the same scam on you over and over again. Why would they be attacking us and not Israel? Israel's this big compared to them. Why would they go after America? It's because Israel knows we don't care about Israel like that.
Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto again, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.